Oscar De La Renta.
Cameron!
Oscar De La Renta.
Hooray!
Oscar De La Renta.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Bookstraw channel. Oscar De La Renta was one of fashion's most talented designers and a favourite choice for many celebrities when it came to the red carpet. And he was considered one of the great gentlemen of fashion, and he even took a huge risk by hiring John Galliano to work for him when the rest of the fashion community had shunned John Galliano. But if anyone could do it, he could. And I'm going to get into that later on in this video, but first I want to talk about Oscar De La Renta as a designer. Oscar De La Renta actually started his career as an illustrator, and he worked for fashion houses in Spain after he left the Dominican Republic, where he's from, at the age of 18, and he was then hired to assist Spain's then leading designer Cristobal Balenciaga. Now, following several assistant designer positions across Europe, he began designing the couture and ready-to-wear collections for Elizabeth Arden. Yes, the Elizabeth Arden. And this was following advice that he received from Diana Vreeland, who, if you don't know, was at the time the editor-in-chief of Vogue, and she strongly believed that Oscar would thrive more and rise quickly through the ranks if he was at Elizabeth Arden than if he worked at another more prestigious or luxurious brand. This is sort of like if you were to work at a smaller company where there is a lot of room to grow and to grow with the company, than a large company where you might feel like you're just a small cog in the wheel. And in 1965, it paid off, and he was able to establish his own self-titled fashion brand in New York. His brand focused on sophistication and casual luxury that would characterize his creative brand over the following decades. And it's a style that I really liked. I mean, when I look back at his designs, I really like his designs, and it was loved by socialites too. I mean, he was actually married at that time to the editor of French Vogue, and he was able to show off his designs to the right people. So Oscar was very well connected in fashion circles, and he put his talents to good use. I mean, his traveler and Russian-inspired collections caught the attention of the fashion world, and his collections were really modern with a romantic and feminine quality. And I think he really understood how to balance that casual American sportswear vibe and the sharp European tailoring that was popular at the time, and make it couture. And I think he was truly ahead of his time, I really do. And in 1993, he was acknowledged by the fashion world, and he became the lead designer for the haute couture line at the house of Balmain, and he actually stayed there for years until 2002. So he was at the top of his game for a long time, and he was recognized by his peers. I mean, he won the Council of Fashion Designers of America, or CFDA's, Women's Wear Designer of the Year Award in the year 2000, which is a huge accomplishment. And he was even the first Dominican person to head a French haute couture line. So he broke barriers, and his own brand benefited from his design greatness and his reputation within the fashion community. Now, I want to talk a bit about Oscar's own label. So Oscar often designed using vibrant colours, and he was known for using delicate silk, ruffles and soft silhouettes, which gave sort of a Spanish Caribbean vibe. And I really liked his flamenco inspired white lace dress from his spring 2005 collection, which Jennifer Garner wore at the Emmys. And I also loved the silver grey strapless ball gown dress he designed for Amy Adams at the Oscars. I loved it, but I think Oscar was most well known for his evening wear and the suits for women. And over the years, they became wardrobe staples for celebrities and socialites and whoever could get their hands on them. I mean, from Penelope Cruz to Sarah Jessica Parker, and even United States First Ladies who are expected to look classy and elegant and chic and refined, like to wear his designs. I mean, Hillary Clinton wore a gold embroidered outfit to the inaugural ball in the 90s, and Michelle Obama also wore his designs on many occasions and looked amazing. I mean, she looked absolutely gorgeous wearing Oscar De La Renta, and the success of his label enabled him to grow his business, and he added an accessories line and a beauty line and even a bridal line. More on that later. But he wasn't afraid to take risks, and in 2013, he decided to work with fashion designer John Galliano. Now, if you don't know, John Galliano is viewed as one of the most talented fashion designers in the industry, but he's had his fair share of controversy. And I talked about this in one of my previous videos on John Galliano, but he was actually fired from Dior, and this is because of his previous anti-Semitic comments. So people were not fooling with John, and he was effectively shut out of the fashion community. But the editor-in-chief of American Vogue, Anna Wintour, reportedly negotiated for John to work with Oscar as a backstage advisor on one of his upcoming shows, and Oscar agreed. And he extended an invitation to John Galliano to join him. So John Galliano took up a temporary residency at Oscar's design studio to help him prepare for his autumn-winter 2013 ready-to-wear collection. And John did his thing, and he was praised for his work. And this really led the way for John Galliano to be appointed as the lead designer for Maison Margiela the following year. Yeah, so Oscar took a risk to hire John Galliano, and it paid off, and it helped to save John's career. Now I want to talk a bit about his own Oscar De La Renta fashion label and his legacy. So Oscar sadly died in 2014, and before he passed away, he increased the number of his boutique locations around the world, and he also grew sales at his brand by 50%. And one of his last notable designs was the ivory tulle bridal gown worn by Amal when she married George Clooney in 2014, and I thought Amal looked stunning. I really did. It was a beautiful dress, and it was great that she chose Oscar over other designers. And one thing about Oscar is he was respected. He really was respected in the fashion world, and he was asked to be the president of the Council of Fashion Designers of America twice, which is a huge honor. And he served as president of the body in both the 70s and again in the 80s. So he had a real impact in recognizing and celebrating fashion talent, both upcoming and long-standing fashion talent. So many still look to his label now, even in his death. Now, there was some controversy with Oscar's label after he passed away. So after he passed away, the label hired two designers, Fernando Garcia and Laura Kim, to be the co-creative directors of the fashion house. And Laura Kim had to leave her position at the rival fashion house, Carolina Herrera, to take on the creative director role. Now, Carolina Herrera was not happy, and Carolina Herrera actually sued the Oscar De La Renta label for hiring Laura Kim, as they claimed that she was under a non-compete clause, and therefore they alleged that she was not legally able to work at a rival company. So they had a legal battle, but eventually the court case was settled, and Fernando and Laura are the co-creative directors at Oscar De La Renta. And I know some people don't think that a label has the same impact when its founder is no longer a part of the brand, but I think Oscar's label is still well liked, and I think it's in good hands. And personally, I love the elegance of his brand. I really do. And it seems as though that continues to be one of the main pillars of his brand today. And Oscar's label is still popular to this day. In fact, Taylor Swift wore a cutout embroidered Oscar De La Renta dress to the premiere of her Eras Tour concert film. And she looked absolutely gorgeous in her blue gown, and images of Taylor Swift in the dress were all over social media after she appeared at the premiere wearing it. And the gown really reflected the elegance, which is the legacy of Oscar's brand. But I want to know what you think about this. Please leave your comments down below and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.